as Tim just said. Okay, I wasn't aware that I was going to do a personal story, but something up. Maybe I can't articulate as well as Professor Kirschlin or sing as well as Pat, but I'll try. I wrote something up. I just went to Albany yesterday with the Alliance for Quality Education. That really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Basically, about the social injustices of education and how the cuts, not only are they deep and hurtful to people across the state, but they're very disproportionate to communities that are wealthy compared to those that are not. Those of low income, they're much harsher than those who have money. Whereas those who have money, they're losing their equestrian team and their 10th language. The low income, we're losing, French when we only have French and Spanish, or we're losing, 5 clubs when we had 7 to begin with, And especially in low-income communities, that's a huge problem, because in low-income communities, such as, Poughkeepsie, there needs to be something for the youth to do to look forward. I know many people that are coming to school just because there's sports, there's music, there's art. That's the only reason that gets them up out of bed at 7 o'clock in the morning to come to school and be grateful to be there. There's a bunch of systemic problems that, are the root of that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So basically, as I was saying, I'm from Poughkeepsie High School, and, I started off in 9th grade. Amazing student. I'm pretty, good student now, whatever. But to put this into context for you, I started off my sophomore year with a 99.8 GPA. Then I kind of woke up. I'm like, what am I doing? I mean, I'm a great student and I love that. I have the potential to do great things. Not to, self-indulge or anything. But I'm saying, it's kind of a selfish endeavor there. I'm kind of, going home straight doing my work, not caring about what's happening around me, because, Poughkeepsie is very concentrated and is a great example of many of the systemic problems that are rooted in our society, unfortunately, today, because of what Professor Kirschlin said. But, education is a heart of that, of the solution, and heart of the problem as well. So as I was saying, my GPA was a 99.8. And then gradually I became more aware, started turning on C-SPAN, turning on, MSNBC, all those good shows, getting involved in things like Community Voices Heard, all these great not-for-profits. I was like, wow, I really love doing this. I love doing this. And as that increased, my GPA decreased a little bit. But that's okay, that's okay. My GPA decreased, not too bad, to 92. Still, I would have liked to have that, Ivy League GPA. It's all good, though. And, so since sophomore year, maybe the mid-year, I've been fighting all kinds of social injustices, and I loved it. I've networked and everything like that, and absolutely loved it. But one thing I didn't realize until the past couple weeks is that at the heart of it, we need to build our next generation. We need to build education up from the ground floor. We need to invest in pre-K. We need to invest in primary education, secondary education, all the way up to post-grad. And that's not what's happening. And there are 2 broad reasons for that. One is the economics of the situation, which again obviously I cannot articulate, as well as Professor Kirschlin, and just the structure of how our education system is, especially in secondary education, high school. It's horrible, and I'm not sure about primary education, but the state has cut billions and billions of, billions with a B, of dollars in state aid and other programs for schools in the past year. Billions of dollars. That's what some people on Wall Street make. And just recently, the governor is proposing that he give us, 20% of that back. That's the same as me stealing $5 from you and giving you $1 back. You should be happy. I just stole a $5 bill from you, but it's okay. I'm going to give you $1 back to go buy a candy bar. You know, and and going back to the disproportionate thing, it's just not right. Those. Oh, my notes. Let's get back to here. Oh, no. All right. So there's this thing called competitive grants. I'm not sure if colleges are involved in this yet, or I don't know about that part. But competitive grants. First they take our money, then they give you $1 back, but they make you compete for 25 cents of that. Is that right? They're gonna make us compete for an education, compete to make our society better. That's just wrong in so many levels. But it's like a game show almost. It's like hitting me, who when I go into swimming pool, I flap my arms around like I'm a cat. That's like hitting me against Michael Phelps and saying, "Go ahead at it. We'll just sit back and watch." And it's just not right. Well, and they say we broke. They say we're broke. They say we need to make these deep cuts. But what is wrong with taking, at the very least, cutting tax loopholes for the very top 1%? What is wrong with that? You're going to scare business away. I'm sorry, I didn't know, taxing Walmart is going to make it go out of business anytime soon. Obviously our society has different priorities, or at least those in power have different priorities. And those in power are the ones that just sit back and watch, the race go on. It's like a three-legged race. What's his name? Usain Bolt. That he's an amazingly fast runner. Yeah. It's like that. But they refuse to cut the fiscal noose that's tied around our legs because they wanna appeal to their re-election. They want to appeal to the very 1%. It's just wrong. And again, in black and brown communities and poor communities is where it's the toughest and the worst. Let's see what I have here. Okay, so my next point was the correctional facilities. There is a direct link between the test reading scores and how many units are built in cell units in prison correctional facilities. And as you know, corporations, give to these facilities. They give to them, and they make profit off of them in some weird way. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not an economist. But they're taking tiny little nine-year-olds, third graders, and saying, if you're below reading level, instead of investing in your education, investing in making you a stronger member of society, we're going to build you a prison cell, just in case. Just in case you can't make it there. We'll hope for you. We'll tell you that your potential is high enough. We'll do all this, but we'll have this safety net for you. You'll have 3 hots and a cot. And that's what the ninth graders, well, that's what the little 9-year-olds have. They're not told that directly, but that would be a little awkward. I don't know any senator that's like, hey, little Timmy, we're gonna build you a unit. State All right. So that's a little bit of the structure and a little bit of the economy mixed together of the situation. But getting on to the structure of it. That's on the next page. Who am I here? Okay. So in high school especially, there's a lack of creativity involved with education. It's as if we're taught to have a cookie-cutter intelligence so we can make it to the next level, higher education. We need that 99.8 GPA. We need that cookie-cutter intelligence to get into Harvard, Yale, Vassar. No offense, guys. I love Vassar. I applied here. I want to go here. I love Vassar. I'll hear back in 3 weeks. I'll let you know. But the high schools and lower education, they tell us to have cookie-cutter intelligence. disintegrate our idea of creativity. They look down upon the person that reads all day in class instead of listening to a math teacher tell them how to plot points, because that's supposedly going to get them a job working for a nonprofit agency or working here or there. You know, there's many jobs that high school students aren't aware of. They're supposed to be doctors, lawyers, you know, politicians, all these things. But high school is not, it gives you a false image of that these jobs are the only ones there and that's what you have to work towards. That is not true. Those jobs are great. They're necessary in this society, but they're not the only ones, and they're not the only expectations that we should live up to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I'll leave you with this. Our education is the fabric of our future, so demand that those in power stop rolling the dice with our security deposit and simply stop bandaging a hemophiliac society, and instead restructure the way we learn by investing creativity and hope into the future of our generation.